Davy Knapp here, and I want to show you how to use the vintage brown album template for that's in the InstantCollage album template suite. So first of all, we're going to look at our album template file, and when you receive that download, you'll want to move it to a different folder than your downloads folder, like probably your documents folder. Then you want to right click on it and click open and then it'll open with the archive utility, and it'll take just a few minutes for it to open up all the data there, because there's quite a bit of data. But then you can use the JPEG guide. This is designed so I'm going to hit my space bar so I can blow each template up kind of big, and this is designed so that you can flip through really quickly and find which layout that you want to use. So why don't we look today at the number 1 layout, and I'm going to click on it, the PSD. I've switched to the PSD design folder and open it in Photoshop. I'll take just a minute to open, and then right after that we're going to let that open, and then we'll be looking at now this is going to tell you that some text layers contain fonts that are missing. So there are maybe some fonts, not many, but like the one that's here in the sample logo, and you can see the exclamation point over here. That means that this font is not on my computer. But what you can do is you can download fonts, do a search, and you can download a lot of fonts for free. Or you could also use any of the fonts that are in Photoshop already that you've already got. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and minimize this real quickly so I can grab my images, and I'm going to open those in Bridge. So we can browse photographs and look at the photographs in Bridge. Now you can also import those from Finder or another program, but we're going to go ahead and use Bridge. So this is this folio has 2 album pages. So it's a designed in 10 by 20, so you make albums up to 20 inches big, or 10 by 10 square. And it's a 2-page page slide, I guess you might say, and I've got 2 images. So I'm going to go ahead and open 2 images. So I'm going to select my first 2 images here, drag them into Photoshop, and if you've got Photoshop 6, you can hold it down and then select hold it down, and it'll auto resize these things onto your album template. If you don't have Photoshop 6, then you'll just copy them and paste them onto the template. So I'm going to drag my first image over here to the left because I want it on the first page. And you'll notice, I'm going to hide this real quickly, and you'll notice that it says 1. This is where your first image goes. And so I'm going to scroll down over here in my layers palette and find my first image, and I'm going to drag it down and and hold it over the image 1 mask. So I've drug it down and held it over the image 1 mask. Now I'm going to go ahead and show that image, so it's right there behind the frame and over the image 1 mask. I'm going to right click and create clipping mask. So that's going to clip this photograph right to the clipping mask that's there, the image placeholder, the layer that's entitled image 1. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to use my transform tool, and I'm going to hold the shift key down while I transform this photograph so that it fits and I get more of the frame, more of the image right there. So here we go, and I've placed that image using the transform tool, holding the shift key down. It maintains the image proportions so that you don't get a stretched or weird looking image. And that's how you do the first image. So now let's take a look. Drag this window over, and and let's do image number 2. So do you see image number 2, the placeholder right there, the mask, and I'm going to scroll down here in my layers palette, and I see image number 2 right here over on the right. And I'm going to drag the image that I just imported over image number 2. So that's over image number 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and right click. To get this menu, you right click and create clipping mask. That's going to clip this photograph to this mask, and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to zoom out here. Apple minus is my zoom shortcut, and I'm going to again hold the shift key down and use the transform tool to size the image over the mask and show as much as I want. Hit enter to accept that, and we have our first page designed. Now doesn't that look nice? And how quick was that? Pretty fast. So the great thing about InstantCollage album templates is you can design them really fast. Now when you go to save, go ahead and don't save over your template. So you'd probably want to create a new job folder, and I'm going to create one in here, and let's call it the Rose Wedding. And inside the Rose Wedding, I'm going to create 2 folders, one called a PSD and another one called a JPEG. And you always want to save both, so since this one's the PSD, I'm going to save this in PSD and save right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save As. Oh, still thinking. We'll give it just a minute. My save progress bar taking just a second to save, saving 93%. And let's go ahead and go to File, Save As, and this time I'm going to save it in the JPEG folder, and I'm going to switch down here in format from Photoshop to JPEG. And JPEGs are what you're going to want to use to do your reveal presentation, also to order the album. But we save the PSDs just in case the client wants to make a change. And that's how you use that. Now I'll show you real quickly how we can change the text here. Well, I'm going to switch to my zoom tool, squeeze this over so you can see, and I'm going to hit the key Z, which grabs my zoom tool. The zoom tool's down here on the bottom, and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to select a little area right here, zoom in on the logo. So what you can do here is it's telling me that this is the font, Champignon or Champignon, I don't know. Anyway, that one right there. So if you want to search the internet and find that font, you can buy it and download it and use it. But you can also just use a default font. And so you would change this text to your studio name. You would change the Amarillo Texas to wherever your studio is located, or you could put your website right there. And this one we did it Amarillo, TEX period, because that's the old way, the old postal code, and it just kind of has more of a little bit of a vintage feel to it. So Photoshop comes with a ton of great fonts, and so you can just select maybe a different font or whatever, and then I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then that's how you would do it. You could even put the couple's name there or whatever you want it to do. The effects, as long as you click on that studio logo layer, the effects are all saved right here. So it'll look just like this, or you can change it if you want to and customize it for your own studio. Okay, and that's how the vintage brown folio works.